Here we go. We're ready to talk. Are you ready to talk? That's a good question. That's the question. Are you ready to talk? Hopefully you are. And that really is an important factor in today's day and age, but it's an important factor in every day and age. And maybe it was even more important then than now because we used to stand on that soapbox derby and talk, soapbox derby, soapbox, soapbox and talk. The guy in what is it, Hyde Park over in London, sitting up there spreading the news, or the town crier spreading the news about what's going on. Well, now what? Communication skills is still unbelievably important, and they will always be unbelievably important. We communicate differently, don't we? Absolutely. Doing a lot more of it digitally. That's an absolute. But we're also doing it in written form. We're doing it in person. We're doing it body language. We're doing it by background. So I'll mention that one more time. We're doing it all the time. Are you comfortable? What if you have to share a screen? You're doing something digital and you need to share a screen. Are you ready to do that? What if you're in person and you're using a projector or a PowerPoint presentation? Are you comfortable with that? Are you reading the notes? Do you have your notes? Where do I have my notes? I gave a presentation yesterday, right? I put all my notes up on a whiteboard. What the difference of a color that is. Look at that. Who knew? Anyhow, at the whiteboard, using that. Are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable having just bullet points? Not having the speech written out? Ooh, who wants to have a speech written out? I wrote down so many things over there. I couldn't read it, didn't read it, and the rest of that stuff. But I knew those 3 bullet points that I wanted to chat about. Those actionable ideas. Had that in my head, had that over here. Figured out a way to put actually a Microsoft Word document next to the screen when I was talking and I was here. How did I know to do that? I didn't. I didn't think of it until I was actually doing it. Was that a good place to practice it while giving a real presentation? Probably not. But that's what was done. So where do you go to actually practice presentation skills? Where do you actually go to get things, not to get things together, but to build your confidence so you are ready to go and talk and not have rotten tomatoes thrown at you? Don't want to see that happen now, do you? So years ago, and I'm talking years ago, it is 2020. Oh my gosh, I bet you it's 20 years. It was 20, I think it's 20 years ago, 18 years ago. I can check that one. I joined Toastmasters. Toastmasters, yes. That public speaking organization, the one that has got chapters in well over 100 different countries, that's got groups of people locally on Long Island. We've got 20 to 30 or so different clubs. Each club has got its own set of own style. Let's put it that way. We all have the same goals. This is this pathway program that I want to introduce you to. We all have the same goals. We want to become stronger speakers, better communicators. We want to learn how to gain more confidence when we're speaking, but we're also looking to try and do different things. That is where each club has got its own different ways of approaching that. The club that I'm in, the club that I'm part of, the club that I've been a part of ever since the get-go, we've been looking at things from an experimental standpoint. You shouldn't be doing what you're comfortable doing at. Like, who's learning from that? You're not. Maybe somebody else is, because they'll see you as a speaker and find you as an inspiration, or they'll like the things that you do and they'll learn from that. That's a big part of it. Or when you go up and you evaluate somebody else's speech, yeah, that's right. It's all about feedback. When you evaluate somebody's speech, your expertise, your experience, your personality of how you approach speaking, communication skills, body language, pausing for effect, using the screen, leaning in when it's time to talk, sitting back when it's time to listen, or to let a thought sink in a little bit more. But all of that that you share going out is part of the learning experience for somebody else, which is great. And as one of our members likes to say, he's like, the best thing that our club could do or any club could do is to really focus on giving good evaluations. But really, why? Because if I'm there to become a better speaker, well, why in the world should I focus on giving better evaluations? It's pretty simple. Because the better evaluation that we as a collective group can give, that means the faster and more effective learning process all of our members will have. So if a member comes in who is not comfortable as a speaker, gains the confidence as a speaker because they're told what they are doing well, and a helpful hint, helpful comment, a helpful thought about what they could do to become a better speaker, they become a better speaker. Their confidence grows. Their on stage presence or on camera presence becomes that much better for them. And then they will in turn become an inspiration to somebody else. They in turn will share their thoughts and opinions with other speakers that might have more experience, that might have less experience than they do. And that is really what it's all about. Because the faster and the better and the more effective we all become as coaches, teachers. Yeah, I use that word coaches, mentors within that group. That means the group becomes that much stronger because we're all helping each other grow. Starting to sound like a mastermind group, isn't it, for speaking? Yeah, it absolutely is. We're sharing thoughts and ideas with each other to help us become better and more efficient. You could use those same words on any mastermind group that you're at. It's just that each mastermind group has got a different focus. This one is purely on communication skills. That's where that goes. So, where does the whole thing begin? Well, my story of where it began was the fact that I got a promotion. I was asked to become the sales manager for an office, and I sucked as a speaker. I got up in front of the room and I had nothing brilliant to say. I had my notes, I had the schedule for the office for the week, and I read them. Oh, now that's what you call crap. Utter, utter crap. Look, we were getting together to share that information at the time. Again, it was like 18 years ago. Now, just email it. Boom, email goes out. Hey, this is what's going on this week in the office. And that's done. Now, I don't even know how to define the word office, which is another thing. But bottom line is the information that I was sharing with the group at that time, or even today, was factual stuff. There was no opinion that was getting tossed into the equation. Nothing. It was just, okay, this is the facts, and if I'm sharing the facts, you don't need to hear it from me. I don't need to break into your day for a half hour to tell you what's going on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Nothing. Nothing. So I was like, all right, I knew I had to do something in order to become more effective in that sales manager, managerial leader role, standing up in front of a room role. So I joined Toastmasters. Chose Toastmasters over a few other things because one, it was cost effective. Joining a Toastmaster club at this point in time is approximately $100 per year. And you're joining Toastmasters, not even just a club, you're a member of the club, but you're joining Toastmasters International, which means you could transfer from any club to any time you wish. No issue, no problem, no questions asked, no nothing. Doesn't matter. None of us are getting paid, so it's not like we lose revenue or anything like that. We lose a member, and we like to build a club, so it's not, we look in the mirror to see why it is that you're moving. But if you move and you want to go to a different club, go to a different club. That's fine. Now that we're meeting still on Zoom, we're staying digital, so you could actually move and still be a member of our club because we're digital. But if not, it goes. We also decided to stay digital. So if you want to join a club that wants to meet in person and they're able to meet in person, well, then you would leave and go to a club that meets in person. Or executive officers, and there's 7 officers for the club. We made a decision to stay online, and we're going to stay online. We might have a meeting or two every once in a while where we're in person, but for the most part, we're an online club. What does that mean? Well, I think what it really means is that we're going to lose a few members that want to meet in person. So be it. The personality of our club is the fact that we are meeting online. So, why would you choose this club over an in person club, an online club versus an in person club? If you want to practice your online presentations, if you want to practice using a whiteboard and sharing a screen, if you are in a position where you are leading or communicating or more by video than in-person setting, if you're dealing with people that are across the country where you're not physically getting together and you want to do it on video, not on phone, and you want to share documents, if you're in a position where you're speaking to clients and you're using Zoom or whatever equivalent of more and more, you might want to use and join an online club and skip the in-person club. The other side of that, if you are somebody who is in an office, who is standing in front of a room, who is looking and actually in the same room with your with your team, then you know what? An in-person club is there. And maybe you just hate this idea of being on camera and rather be in person. Then an in-person club is there. That is a big factor. So don't join an online club if your focus and most of what you're doing is in person. Just that simple. Then the other thing that factors into it too is the fact that every club has its own little personalities with it. I do enjoy, let's say, and it's not even just me, it's the rest of the executive staff. We enjoy kind of asking people to live outside that comfort zone a little bit. Can you imagine why? To live outside that comfort zone a little bit. That's where that goes. So we're a little bit more cajoling. Is that the word? To keep you moving along. That's where that one's at. We're also a smaller club. So a smaller club gives you more opportunity to speak. A bigger club, a little less opportunity to speak. It's easier to get lost in the crowd, even if you're in person or online. It doesn't make a difference. So there's those factors that get tossed into it. But the common thread, let's get back to the common thread. What is Toastmasters all about? Toastmasters is all about the learning experience. Over the last number of years, Toastmasters has moved all of their educational programs and all of the learning experiences and material that you have access to, moving it, all of that has been moved online. Great, I think. We used to get booklets that we used to work out of. In some respects, it was simpler using a booklet because at the end of each piece of speech that you gave, there was an information sheet that had to be completed, signed off on. It got scanned, it went over to Toastmasters, and it was done. Now you got everything online, and it's not that book. The other side of the plus with that is the fact that it's all digital. You can get it printed if you so want, but I don't know anybody who does. But it's all digital. That means these educational programs, these paths that you would take, are more specific than they ever have been in the past. They're more variety than they've ever been in the past. And it is more, there's more information for you to use. There's a lot of videos that are in there where in the past it was just on a piece of paper. It was just a 2 to 5 page description of what you were looking to accomplish for that speech. Now it's a little bit more so. Now you take a survey, your own survey of what you know about this goal that you have for that speech. And then the speech, the material that's there, a couple of videos, maybe, definitely one. I think every one of them. And then in the end, your own self-evaluation plus the written evaluation that you would get. So, want to get a little bit more specific? Let's do that. I'm focusing on doing a podcast. There is a path in there that focuses just purely on doing a podcast, how to do it, how to practice doing it, how to do an intro, having a guest on, stuff like that. It's great. Are they telling you what content to talk about? No, absolutely not. So you can really use that in order to really truly practice the podcast that you are going to do. Fantastic. It needs to be appropriate to the population of Toastmasters. So keep that in mind. But if you're going to do a podcast or a podcast, there probably would not be any kind of an issue anyhow. But you keep that in mind. And every club's a little bit different with that too. But the topic is yours. Keeping it simple here. The topic is yours. The structure is the program that you're on. So that's something I'd like to do. You want to become a motivational speaker. Big time program on that one. You want to give technical speeches. There's a specific program to giving technical speeches. You want to get much more adept at using visual aids, screen sharing, things like that. There's a program that's in there for that one. Very specific to what it is that you are trying to accomplish. Now, when you're getting started, how do you figure out what to do? You certainly want to chat with the education person and some of the other people that are in the club, and see if your personality matches with the club, see if they could be some help to you as you're going along. Maybe they have a mentor program that mentor could help you with that. Or you can go to the Toastmasters International website and you could fill out a questionnaire that's going to help guide you through choosing which is the best path for you to take. So at this point, let me stop chatting over here. Let's do the screen share that I could do. Let's add this to the stream. How's that, right? Learned how to do it. Also learned how to move me around a little bit. Look at that. I make me big, I make it small. I make me small, I make it big. It's just so easy. So let me click on the real page, not what you're looking at over here. Let's play this thing and see what the Toastmasters Pathways is all about.
Welcome to the Toastmasters Pathways learning experience, an exciting, flexible, and interactive way to develop your skills. Building on Ralph Smedley's original vision and Toastmasters' core competencies, Pathways upholds the club experience while offering new, revitalized educational content that helps you learn communication and leadership skills. The skills you will learn will give you a competitive advantage in the workplace and maximize your potential. Pathways allows you to leverage more than 300 competencies across more than 60 projects. These projects are divided into 11 specialized learning paths that allow you to tailor your experience to fit your goals and your pace. While all paths have the same level of difficulty and help to build public speaking skills and confidence, each path has its own unique focus. All 11 paths feature elective projects to choose from that allow you to further tailor your experience. All of this content is available online and is accessible from a computer, laptop, or tablet, allowing you to learn anytime, anywhere. Printed and accessible materials are also available. With Toastmasters members around the globe, we've also translated Pathways materials into a variety of languages, including French, Simplified Chinese, and Spanish. If you'd like to work online, Basecamp is the place where you'll find all of the materials for your learning experience, along with tools for your journey. On Basecamp, you'll be able to share feedback with fellow club members, view badges you've earned, access and save digital speech evaluations, and more. When you first begin Pathways, you can take an optional online assessment that will recommend the path that best aligns with your goals. Projects include a variety of interactive elements, including questionnaires, quizzes, menus, and expandable content. Educational videos model skills and provide demonstrations of the concepts you are learning. Pathways brings with it many new learning opportunities. It upholds your club experience while allowing you to tailor your education experience to fit your needs. And best of all, your first path is free with your membership. So what are you waiting for? Choose your learning path and you'll be well on the way to building a better you.
There you go, my friends. Took care of that. Also learned how to use that banner going across over here. Now, you know, in my world, what I've been doing, and I've been doing this program and kind of experimenting with you as we go along. Well, okay, but it fits within my brand, we'll say, because I'm looking to encourage you to do it. Just go out there and do it and figure out for yourself. It's like, okay, I want to do a podcast or a vodcast and say, what if I make a mistake? You want to know something? It's not a bad thing making a mistake. It's not, as long as it fits within your brand. So there are certain people out there that are a little bit more all buttoned up that need to make the information correct. You don't want to do what I do. You don't want to do it the way I've been doing it. Let's put it that way. You want to get yourself together where you do know how to use the screen share, not screw it up every once in a while, where you know how to put a banner across the bottom, where your lighting does not get messed up every once in a while, where you're comfortable having a guest on, and that kind of thing, where you're clear as to where you can keep notes, how to make eye contact with that little light that's above your monitor, or should you invest in a different camera? Just something I'm looking at doing. This way I don't have to look up. I could actually look straight in and have the camera right there. Makes it a little bit better. Maybe even a wireless mouse so it could sit further back. But I'm practicing. I'm doing a lot of these things live right here with you. You want a safer place to do it? You want a more uh, appropriate place to do it? If you can't just share this stuff publicly, like I have been doing, go to the Toastmaster Club, right? You see, right down there on the bottom, that's our club, or just contact me without a doubt. More than happy to guide you in that process of figuring out which kind of a club works for you or not. And I got to tell you, the online clubs have just opened it up so much, because all you need is a time zone appropriate club for you, whatever that might be. And it could be anything. Let's assume you got free time in the evening. Well, you could join a club that meets on the East Coast in the evening. You could join a club that meets earlier in the afternoon out on the West Coast. Uh, no problem. You want to learn how to speak a different language? Easy enough to do. You see all those on the Pathways program, they have the books in different languages, but there's clubs in well over 100 different countries. You want to practice your Chinese, your Spanish, your French, your whatever? Join a club in Spain, in France, in China. All you have to do, you find a club that's meeting online, join them. I know in the New York area, there is or was, and I don't know what the current status is of it, but there is a club that speaks Mandarin. You don't have to know the language that well to join the club. You might want to practice it. Conversely, if you know you're overseas someplace and you want to practice your English more, join a club in the States, join an English speaking club. We were meeting at Stony Brook University, and there's a lot of foreign students that belong to the university. We had many students join the club for the purpose of practicing to speak English. And what they were doing on their prepared speeches, they were practicing the English language. Prepared speeches, they were doing it. On some of the other speeches, table topics, which is more of an impromptu speaking, now they had to listen, understand what's being said to them, then think, then speak in English. That's a little bit more challenging, especially to someone who's newer to the language, but it's a great place to practice it. And if you don't understand, just ask to have it repeated, ask to have it done slower, have somebody translate it for you, whatever. It's fine. We're there to become better speakers, whatever level that might be. So that's a possibility. Had a good friend of mine join one of the clubs. It was an totally international club. And I mean international in all respects. It wasn't that she was here and she joined a club in Europe that was made it an international club or a foreign club or anything like that. But what it was is these were people that were interested in becoming motivational speakers and were somewhere along that journey to become motivational speakers. But that was the focus of it. That was purely the focus of that club. So if you didn't want to become a motivational speaker, club was not for you. If you wanted to give technical presentations, club was not for you. Didn't fit the personality. Fantastic. When she apologized for not joining our club, I was like, hey, that's fine. I think that's great. If I had the time, I would have joined the second club, but just couldn't do it. Even meeting online, right? It's only a click away. Just couldn't do it. But I think that's great. So we could fit anything. It fits budget, talking like, $100 or so, per year, doing that. These paths that you could take, I think every time you need a new path, it's $20. Not a big deal. And it goes on. Content, you can speak about anything you'd like. It's got to be appropriate. And I'll tell you, religion, challenging can be done, but, politics, always a touchy subject, doesn't go. But you might have some, there may be some leeway with it with clubs. There was a club I did become a mentor for that met in Manhattan. And they were like, politics was off. That's it. One thing you could not talk about at all, across the board, no matter what, didn't make a difference. Nothing. No politics. And also, you could not talk about the projects that you were working on. Kind of interesting, right? You could not talk about the projects you were working on. Many clubs, Club 2, it's like, I don't want you to give your business presentation all the time. You can every once in a while. And if you got something coming up that you need to practice and need to get a little bit more feedback on, hey, that's all fine. We're there. We did have somebody that was going to give a political speech, came in, she practiced it. We didn't give comments on her point of view. We did give comments on her delivery, the body language, all the rest of that stuff, vocal variety. That's what we were focused on. So it was okay. But this one club, nope, not at all. It's because they knew that everybody was so impassioned about their nonprofit, about what they were doing. They wanted to keep it away from that. Otherwise, the club just would have stayed right there. And everybody would have given speeches on what they're working on. It wasn't it. It's not really it. The purpose of it is to become better communicators in a wide variety of different ways. So that's the focus over there. Am I excited about that program? Yeah, I think it's great. And then when we had people join in the past, the first question I always had to them was why? I know you've heard me say that question quite a bit over here. Why? Why did you start a business? Why are you involved in a nonprofit? Why are you not involved in a nonprofit? Why did you choose this profession? Why are you joining a Toastmaster club? What was that triggering event? What was it? What is it in current time that steered you in that direction? It's big. It's really big. Hey, why do you have an employee that's interested in working for your company? Because they want a paycheck? Hopefully it's something more than that. Why did you join Toastmasters? Well, I needed to. I wanted to become more motivational. I wanted to become more demonstrative. That was my why. That was what I wanted to practice. Once the club understood that, once the leadership of the club understood that, they were able to help me in my path in order to get there. So when you join a club, our club, I want to know why. Well, now it's not just me asking why, it's Toastmasters asking why. Why are you here? What do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on being more demonstrative? Or do you want to focus on being better understood when you're giving a technical presentation? Huge difference. Huge difference. But the programs are there for that one. I'm excited about Toastmasters. We have meetings that come up the second and fourth Thursday of each and every month. We meet online. Love to have you come. You could just find that website down there, Stonybrook Speechwolves.Toastmaster Clubs, or just go to Toastmasters International, put in your zip code, and the local clubs will come up. If you have any questions on that, by all means, reach out to me. More than happy to do it. Over the years, I've guided a lot of people into the Toastmasters program. It's good, it's affordable, it's effective, and now it's even more adaptable than ever before. Yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid. I'm in for life. Maybe we'll see you at one of those meetings. Love to have you join us. My name is Brian Cohen. I'm a DTM. By the way, DTM stands for Distinguished Toastmaster. Took me a few years to earn that thing. Given a whole bunch of speeches, mentored a whole number of people. did a whole bunch of different things from at different levels within the district, all the rest of that stuff. Gained immeasurable confidence and also immeasurable experience in that setting that I never would anyplace else. And it's definitely paid off, if not just from doing this thing, but even in that job standpoint, it paid off over there too. Gave me a chance to do a few projects I never would have volunteered for. Probably never would have gotten asked to do on other things unless I was a more confident communicator. It's really important. I don't care if it's online or in person. Being a confident communicator gives you the confidence, but people see it. And yes, if you're out there looking for a job, and if you may change careers at some point in time, it's actually becoming more and more of a resume item also. That is pretty cool. Or it's lit, if you want to use current terms. Hey, again, enjoy your day. Remember, speak well, speak often, and live inspired. Where's that tomato? Let's get that thing going down here. Oh, it's on the brand. Boom. We got to make this music more exciting, or maybe add some vocal to it.